This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, good morning, good evening. Welcome to the training session on JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy Scripting and Dynatrace integration. So before starting the training, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Chandra and I'll be your trainer for this entire training session. So I have 14 plus years of experience in performance engineering, experience on different tools like JMeter, NeoLoad, LoadRunner, performance monitoring tools like Dynatrace, AppDynamics, Datadog, and different protocols, Web HTTP, HTML, web services, Citrix, Ajax Pro Client, etc. So we'll quickly get started, with the course curriculum, the topics which we are going to cover in this particular session. So let me share my screen and please let me know once it is visible to you. So hope my screen is visible to all of you. So we are going to see the course curriculum which we are going to cover as part of this training and few ground rules before we start. Whenever if you have any queries, please unmute yourself and ask the query. And if you're not speaking, kindly be on mute. The videos will be recorded, or each and every session will be recorded. You will all be having the lifetime access to the videos, and the materials will be shared with you all. Okay, I think there is a query. Okay, so we'll have lifetime access to the all the videos as part of this training, and we are going to cover different topics as part of this training, and the different materials will be also shared, as well as the interview questions will be covered for each of the topic whenever we are going to cover them. Clear all of you? So now we are going to see the topics which we are going to cover as part of this training. So many of you would already have experience on performance testing but on different tools, but some would also be beginners to performance testing. That is why the course name is named as JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy Scripting as well as Dynatrace integration. So whoever is a beginner in JMeter, means whoever doesn't know JMeter, by attending this training, they will first become a beginner in JMeter, and by the end of this training, they will become a master in JMeter. Along with that, we are going to cover the advanced topics, that is Groovy scripting, which many people in the industry are not aware of that, as well as we are going to see the Dynatrace integration with JMeter and how can we monitor the applications with Dynatrace, the application performance monitoring with Dynatrace. Those also things also we are going to cover. So let us first of all go through the topics. Now I would like to provide the introduction to performance testing first before going deep into JMeter, so that you all can refresh the knowledge about the performance testing, and then we can go into the JMeter. So first we are going to see the performance testing and JMeter introduction. Now performance testing introduction, we are going to see like what is performance testing, why performance testing is required, what are the different types of performance testing. Then we are going to cover the performance testing life cycle. In that we are going to see what are the different phases in performance testing, what are the different activities which are carried out in the different phases, what is the entry criteria, what is the exit criteria for the different phases, and what are the common challenges which you will face in each of the phase. Then we'll go into the history of JMeter. What are the different protocols supported by JMeter? Now what is a protocol? It is a rule or it is a method by which the client and the server interact with each other, right? It is a set of rules using which the client interacts with the server or the server interacts with the client. Now, what are all the different protocols supported by JMeter? What are the different features of JMeter? We'll get an introduction of JMeter. Now, JMeter is a tool, so it needs to be installed, right? So we'll see what are the different prerequisites for JMeter installation. And JMeter is a Java program. That is why it needs Java for its execution, or for running JMeter you need Java. So we'll see the Java installation and how to set up the environment variables for Java for JMeter to work correctly. Then we'll see how to download JMeter, how to install JMeter, and then how to launch JMeter on Windows. So JMeter can be launched in different platforms. So we are going to see how to launch JMeter on Windows. Then we'll go deep into the browser developer tool. Now, before we start JMeter, we need to understand when the client interacts with the server, what all events take place, what all things happen, so that you get an understanding of that, right? And then how we are going to implement that with JMeter. So for that, you need to know what is a HTTP request, what is an HTML request, what are the embedded resources, what is a transaction or a user action, what are cookies, what is cache, what is a user session. So we will discuss about these items, and then we are going to see the details about the HTTP HTTPS protocol. So what is a request, right? So what are the different elements of HTTP protocol we are going to see. Then what is a request, what is a response, what is a header, what are the different types of request methods again, okay, which can go from the client to the server. So the request will go from the client to the server, right? So normally what happens, you will have your client, you will have your server, right? And this will be your request. So this is the basic architecture, guys, okay? And then you will have the response back from the server, right? So in this client server architecture, we are going to see what is a request, then what makes up a request. So what are the different elements of a request? Similarly, what is a response and what are the different elements of a response? What is a header? What are the different types of request methods which can go from the client to the server, right? We saw this, from the client to the server, the request will go. So what are the different types of requests which can go from the client to the server? Then what is the different status codes? So the server will send back the response to the client. So what are the different response codes which will come from the server to the client? So this will be the introduction to performance testing and JMeter introduction. Any queries, anyone? You can unmute yourself and ask if any queries in this section. Thank you. So then we'll go to the, now that we have the introduction to JMeter, we will then go to JMeter scripting. I think there is a query. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, this is Shrikant. As part of this JMeter, the fundamentals of performance testing can be explained clearly or lengthily, or only the basics of the things you people explain.
No, I'll be explaining the introduction to performance testing in details and also the performance testing life cycle. We will cover this in 3 to 4 sessions, the performance testing introduction, as well as you can the link is shared regarding the performance testing introduction in one of the group, so you can also go through that particular link.
Okay, thank you.
But yes, the performance testing will be covered in details here. You will get to know what we do in performance testing, what are the different activities we do in performance testing, and how are we going to implement performance testing. Any other queries?
Yeah, hi, this is Firoz. Apart from that,
Yeah,
can we explain real-time projects also?
real-time projects.
Can you explain real-time application after that,
Yes, yes.
completing
So
of fundamentals?
I have not gone through the entire training plan. So this is just the introduction. So we have more sections in it. We'll go through that.
Okay.
So just I'm asking like if there is any query in this particular section.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Any other queries in the performance testing and JMeter introduction? Okay. So then we'll go to the test script development with JMeter. So how are we going to develop test scripts with JMeter? So for that, we have to know what are the different components in JMeter, right? So JMeter has 12 major elements or 12 major components, which we are going to check what is the significance of those components and how to use those components. Okay. Then we have one element, that is proxy server and JMeter setup to record the test scripts. We have to do the proxy server setup and some setup in JMeter to record the test scripts. Now why it is required, right? So we are going to cover those fundamental things as well, because in interviews you will get the question why the proxy server setup is required, and most of the candidates are not able to answer that. I have taken myself have taken so many interviews and I have seen candidates are not able to answer that. And then we will see how to record the different test scripts from different browsers along with the demo. Okay, so how are we going to record the different scenarios in JMeter from different browsers? Then how to filter the irrelevant requests and the embedded resources while recording the test scripts. Then comes another important component of JMeter, that is its certificate. So how to install the JMeter certificate in different browsers. Now why that certificate installation is required in different browsers. So those all things also we are going to see. Then we'll see a sample how to record a test script and also how to regenerate a certificate. Now why regeneration of certificate is required, that also we are going to see. Then comes one of the major element, that is the HTTPS test script recorder element, which is used for test script recording. So what are the different attributes of HTTPS test script recorder? What is the significance of the test script recorder? What are the best practices which you need to follow in the test script recorder? We are going to see that. Then the JMeter's recording best practices. So when you will record a script with JMeter, what are the best practices which you need to follow, that we are going to see. Now JMeter is a tool, so it will have different files, it will have different directories. So we are going to see the walkthrough of the different directories of JMeter and the different files in JMeter. Then comes in the different files. Out of those different files present inside JMeter, we have different types of properties file. Okay, in JMeter, like jmeter.properties, user.properties, system.properties. So what is the significance of all those properties file while using JMeter? We are going to see that. Then comes one of the important element or feature, I would say, which can be added to JMeter, that is the JMeter plugin manager. Now plugin means you just plug in and play, right? Similarly, plugin manager, what is the significance of plugin manager? What are things you can do with the plugin manager? Why do you need plugin manager in the first place itself when you already have the tool? That we are going to see. Then how to install the plugins, how to uninstall the plugins, that we are going to see. So by now we will be able to know what are the different elements present in a JMeter, how to do the setup in JMeter, how to do the test script recording in JMeter, and about the plugin manager. Any queries? Anyone?
Hey, I have a question, Chandra. Hello, Chandra. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, are we only do record and play, or do we script actually?
Well, script actually. So I have not gone through the entire training plan, guys. So it is a big
Okay.
training plan. We'll go through that. So I'm asking till
Okay.
point 16. Any queries?
Okay. So, yeah, as you said, like a record and play. So, I have a question. So, we only deal with record and play, or we also get trained on
We'll
scripting
be
part also?
developing test scripts. We'll be developing test
Okay.
scripts
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
to answer your question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any queries? Anyone else? Okay. Then now you will know how to record a script, right? How to record a script. But which scripts you are going to record? Which scenarios you are going to record? That is also important, right? When you will work in a project, which scenarios you are going to record, how will you know which scenarios to record, how will you identify which scenarios are required for performance testing? That concept will be covered. Then we will see the documentation for performance testing of a web application. Okay, we are going to see what all documentation are required in order to do the performance testing of a web application, and we are going to see a product booking scenario. Then we are going to do the end-to-end script recording. Okay, we are going to do this scenario recording for the end-to-end flow. Then we are going to generate the test script, and once the test script is generated, or once the script is recorded and it is generated, is it ready to use? We are going to answer those questions. Definitely, if only test script recording would be the job, then performance testing would be a cakewalk, right?
మీకు బదులు
That
ఫోన్
is
చేస్తా
why, yes, sorry, tell me.
ఇంకా టైం ఉన్నది తినాలా
Can you please go on mute if you are not asking any relevant question to the training? So if the test script which is recorded, if that would be ready for use, then performance testing would be a cakewalk, but that is not. So we are going to see what all enhancements you need to. A sincere request everyone, if you do not have any questions, kindly go on mute so that we do not disturb the entire training session. We have serious candidates joining in, so request you all to please be muted if you do not have any questions. Thank you. So we are going to see how to enhance the different scripts which we have developed or which we have recorded, right? So that brings us to the best practices which we need to follow for doing the test script development. Okay, so to enhance your test scripts, what all best practices you need to follow, we are going to check that. Then we are going to see the correlation concepts. What is correlation? Why it is required? We are going to check that, and we are going to see that in details. Okay, what is the concept of correlation? Why it is required? I'm going to explain in detail so that your fundamentals are cleared, because correlation and parameterization, they are must questions in the interviews. So correlation concept and parameterization concepts are going to be covered, and we are going to understand them. Why correlation is required, why parameterization is required, we are going to understand that. Then we have the regular expression in JMeter. So what is a regular expression? We are going to understand that, how that is implemented in JMeter, why the regular expression is required, and what are the different attributes of a regular expression, and how to implement regular expression in JMeter. That brings us to regular expression extractor, that is a component in JMeter. So what are the different attributes of regular expression extractor? We are going to check. Then we are going to see the real-time use cases. Okay, we'll see what are the different real-time examples of extracting the dynamic values. So regular expression extractor, correlation, all these are related to dynamic value extraction. Now why we need to extract, what is the necessity, we are going to cover in details in the session. Here all of you. So we are going to see real life examples where you will need to extract the dynamic values. The next one is, we are going to see the CSV dataset config component. Okay. So what is the CSV dataset config? It is related to the parameterization, like regular expression extractor is related to correlation. Similarly, CSV dataset config is related to parameterization. Clear? So we are going to see the CSV dataset config and how to set up the test data. So parameterization is related to the test data. We are going to see how to set up test data. Once the test data is set up, then we are going to see other types of CSV dataset config element. So CSV dataset config element comes with the core JMeter, but we have additional features which the core CSV dataset config will not be able to provide. So we are going to see the random CSV dataset config and extended CSV dataset config. So we'll get to know what are they, what is the functionality of those elements. Clear? We are going to cover them in details. What are they? Then comes the authorization tokens. Okay, then we have the authorization tokens. What is authorization token? What is the importance of the authorization token? How to handle the authorization tokens in JMeter? Okay, very important. In interviews you'll get the questions on authorization and authentication, security mechanism used to uniquely identify the user. So you have to handle that in JMeter. We will not have physical users running through JMeter, right? We will have virtual users. So how to handle the authorization token? Clear all of you? Any queries, anyone till
Yeah,
point number
I have one
54?
question. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so are we testing this on any specific site or like, or you will providing the like site to host on your local machine?
We have sample applications for developing the test scripts.
Yeah.
So we'll be
So it is on Google. It is present on Google, or we need to download it.
so we'll do it with multiple applications. Some are present on Google, and for some I can also provide the software to do the installation on your local machine, but most of them will be available on Google.
Okay.
Any other
I have a
queries,
quick
anyone?
question.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. So adding to that, what he asked. So do we have any load balancer or something like that, like where we'll monitor stuff, like the data and all, data traffic and all?
So that part we will see in Dynatrace, but specific to your question regarding the load balancer, that we are not going to see, because that you will be able to see in your real enterprise application. Okay, so we are going to host an application on the server, and that we will monitor with the help of Dynatrace. So we are going to see the web server, application server, and database server. Does that answer your question?
So we are
Yeah.
not discussing on load balancing stuff, right?
No, we are not focusing on the load balancing stuff here, because this is about JMeter and its integration with Dynatrace, and how you can monitor the applications with Dynatrace.
Okay, load balancing comes into a different subject. That's what you're trying to say.
I'm not saying load balancing comes into a different subject. My point is, as part of this training, our focus is to learn JMeter, how to use JMeter, how to use JMeter for performance testing, how to do the test script development with JMeter, how to do the test execution with JMeter, how to do the test reporting with JMeter, and how JMeter can be integrated with other tools so that we can make the most out of it.
Okay, okay, got you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other queries, anyone?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, is this the end of the session?
No, no, we have more topics.
Okay. Thank
Yeah, I'm asking till point 24 if there are any queries. So
you.
we have gone through performance testing introduction, JMeter introduction, and the JMeter test script development, or how to do the test script development in JMeter. So by the end of point 24, you will be able to do the test script development. You will be able to do the enhancement in the test scripts. Your test script will be robust to handle the concurrent users, to handle the dynamic values, to handle the test data, as well as you will be able to handle the authorization. Then we
I
have, yeah.
I have one question. As a part of this, are we going to take one like practical applications and go through end to end using the JMeter like scripting
Yes,
part?
yes, yes, yes. So this one, no, end-to-end scenario recording. So we are going to take a real application. This is not going to be theory. Everything is going to be demoed. Everything is going to be practical sessions with demo. So we'll actually be doing the test script development through JMeter on a real application.
Okay. And like which scripting we would be using as a part of this?
We will be using web HTTP HTML protocol. We will also be using web services protocol.
A scripting language.
Okay, for JMeter, so JMeter is a tool. Okay, for development of the test scripts, you do not need any knowledge on any scripting language. But we have also another topic, that is the Groovy scripting. To handle complex scenarios in JMeter, we sometimes need to write custom code. Okay, but JMeter as a tool, it has the UI, okay, the user interface, using which you will be able to develop the scripts. We are not going to do scripting in real sense, like writing code and all.
But as I understand, there is a kind of a bench shell or something is used, right?
Yeah, there is,
Scripting
yes, that is
for.
what I'm saying. For the complex scenarios, we are going to see Groovy scripting. So there are different scripting languages which JMeter supports, like Bin Shell, Groovy, Java, JavaScript. Okay, we are going to see Groovy scripting as part of this training, because Groovy scripting has the best performance among all the scripting languages when used in JMeter. I'll come to that. So that topic is below.
Sure.
Yeah, that is an advanced topic. So the as a training plan name is JMeter Beginner to Master. So we'll take the baby steps to become a beginner first. From the beginner, we'll become a master in JMeter.
Sure.
So till now, we are only covering the beginner topics. Any other queries on test script development for JMeter? Thank you. So now, once your test scripts are developed, what are you going to do? You're going to do the test execution, right? So we are going to see JMeter test execution. So JMeter has a GUI, right? But is execution preferred to do in the GUI mode, or is there any other mode in JMeter? So we have a non-GUI mode also. So we are going to see how to do the test execution in non-GUI mode. Then JMeter's Java heap size setting. I'll not go more details into it now. Now just want to tell that why the Java heap size setting will be required for JMeter. That we are going to see how to do that setting. That we are going to see, and how much you can set. That also we are going to see. Then in the non-GUI mode, we have the test summarizer. So we'll understand what is a JMeter test summarizer, what are the different attributes of the test summarizer, and how to decrease the summarizer time. Clear all of you? That we are going to see. Decreasing the summarizer time. Then once so we are going to see the test execution, right? So whenever your test execution is in progress, let's say you want to stop the test, you want to stop the execution. So we'll see how to stop the test in non-GUI mode. Whenever a test execution is in progress, how you want to stop the test execution in the non-GUI mode. So then we are going to see how to do the test execution in GUI mode. Okay, and is it really recommended to do the test execution in GUI mode? What is the difference of test execution in GUI mode and non-GUI mode? Those all things we are going to see. Then JMeter has a feature to generate a test report, that is normally known as the HTML test report. In JMeter, we are going to see how to generate the HTML test report in GUI mode. Also, we'll see how to generate the HTML test report in non-GUI mode. Then we have a file, very important file, that is the results file, which is known as the JTL file. So what is the importance of JTL file? We are going to see. Then we have, like as I told you, that we will be generating the HTML report. So we need to understand, right? It's not sufficient that the report is only generated. We need to understand what is that report about, what does it contain, what information does it provide, how to analyze that JMeter HTML report, what are the key areas which we need to look in the report, right? What are the key areas which we need to look in the report, and the timings, whatever will be displayed in the report by default, in what units it will be. Okay, and we'll also see how to change that unit to seconds in the HTML report. Clear all of you? So we are going to understand the JMeter HTML report in detail. Then we have one more important concept known as JMeter functions. So what is a JMeter function? Why it is required? What capability does it provide to JMeter? So we are going to see the different functions available with JMeter. So earlier when JMeter functions were not available, custom coding was required, but with the help of JMeter functions, you can generate random numbers. you can send the current time stamp in your request to the server. So many useful JMeter functions are present, which will be key for doing the test script development and execution in JMeter. One of the important function is
Hello?
the, yeah,
Yeah, Chandra. That means these are predefined functions, right?
these are predefined functions in JMeter,
Okay.
which are already
Okay.
available in JMeter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Then one of those important functions. So in this JMeter functions, there are so many functions available. We are going to see 4 or 5 functions and their usage, and then we are going to see the usage of the P function, the parameter function in details. Why this is an important function, we are going to see that, and why to use this function. Then the non-GUI mode will be executed in the command line interface mode. So how to send the different parameter values from the non-GUI mode, that we are going to see. So how can we pass arguments from the command line interface while doing execution in non-GUI mode. Then we are going to see what is the scope of JMeter elements, what is the scope of JMeter variables. So we have JMeter variables also. Inside JMeter will have JMeter variables. So what will be the scope of the JMeter variables? What will be the scope of different JMeter elements? Then we have the local variable and global variable in JMeter. Okay, we have the local variable and global variable. What is their significance? Relative path and absolute path in JMeter. What is a relative path? What is an absolute path? What is the difference between them with respect to JMeter? What is the significance of them with respect to JMeter? We are going to cover those topics. Then comes very important topic, distributed load testing, or the master slave concept, or the remote testing. So how to do distributed testing in JMeter using the load generators in both GUI mode and non-GUI mode. That is the master and slaves concept. You are going to see in details. What are the different steps to implement the distributed testing? Why distributed testing is required? Okay, and what are the conditions for distributed testing? What are the important conditions to be met for distributed testing? Then we will see the test execution and test reporting. How will you do the test execution? How will you do the test reporting? What are different parameters will you take into account while doing test reporting? That we are going to see. Then we are going to see web services test design, how to do the test script development for web services. Very important, guys. Okay, then we have one more important concept, the bandwidth throttling with JMeter. Many people are not aware of this as well, whether we have bandwidth throttling. It means, can we do the test execution in JMeter with different network bandwidth? Yes, JMeter has that capability, and we are going to see how to do the test execution in JMeter by implementing bandwidth throttling. So why is it required also? That also you need to understand, right? Why bandwidth throttling is required. So we are going to see that concept as well. Then we are going to see the, okay, so before moving on to the next section, any queries, anyone?
So Chandra, I have one doubt. So you're explaining the workload model as well as this comes under
Yes,
in
the
the load
workload,
testing concept.
yes, that will be covered.
Okay.
So over in the performance testing life cycle, I'll be giving an overview of workload model, but after that, whenever we are going to test execution, over there I'll be giving you the detailed concept of workload model, how workload model is designed, what approach you need to take to design the workload model.
So Chandra, scenario creation will come here, right?
Yes, yes, in test execution only. Without creating the
Uh,
scenario, how will you do the test execution?
yeah, that's what it is not mentioned anywhere. So just asked.
Okay, so yeah, means
And
basically that
also
is a, yeah, tell me.
assertions, right? Assertions also here, or
I'm coming to that.
okay.
So okay, to answer to your question, yes, it is there. So we have it in the next section. Okay, so any queries? Anyone else?
No, Chandra, good.
So by now you all will be able to by while we till the point we cover point 39, we all will be able to develop the test scripts, develop the robust test scripts, execute them. We'll have the knowledge on how to do the reporting and all. So if you learn till point 39, you'll be able to execute JMeter projects. You'll be able to deliver JMeter projects. But in addition to that, JMeter has other elements also, right? So we are going to know, or we are going to understand, we are going to acquire knowledge on the other elements in JMeter, the attributes in detail. So we'll see what is a test plan. So now one more thing, guys, these elements are present here. It doesn't mean that I'll not be covering them at the top, because first of all we will see the elements over here itself, like the important elements like the assertion, which one of the participant was referring to. So we are going to see the test plan, thread group, sampler, listener, assertion, then the post processor, and then the parameter, the CSV dataset config, all these things, header manager, all these items which are very much required for doing the test script development, they will be covered in the above topics. Okay. Then along with that, there are other elements also, right? So we are going to see what is a non-test element, what is a thread group, and in thread group we have different type of thread groups again. Those all different type of thread groups we are going to see. Inside controller, there are different types of controllers. We are going to see the explanation of different types of controllers and in which condition are you going to use those controllers. Then we have different sampler elements of JMeter. So the explanation about the different samplers and how to use them. Then we have the different config elements in JMeter. Okay, so what is the use of different config elements, their explanation we are going to cover. Assertion elements, what is an assertion, what are the different assertion elements in JMeter, and how to use those assertion elements in our test scripts. Then comes the timer elements, their significance, what is pacing, what is think time. We would have already covered it in the test execution workload model, but you will also be able to means we are the point I'm trying to make is we are covering pacing, think time, how to implement that in JMeter. What is the concept of pacing, what is the concept of think time, why do we need that. Then we have the listener elements of JMeter. What are the different types of listeners, in what are different formats can you view the results. So listener is nothing but to view the results. So in what are different formats, one important interview question, in what all different formats can you view the results in JMeter, very very important question, guys. We're going to cover that. Then the pre-processor and post-processor elements of JMeter. So with this, by the end of topic 49, you will be completely aware of all the different features in JMeter, how to use the tool without doing any custom coding. Remember, guys, till point 49, you do not need scripting. With the help of the features which are inbuilt in JMeter, you will be able to do the test script development. Clear, all of you? Any queries, anyone till point 49, item 49? Okay. Then comes the advanced topic, that is Groovy scripting. So as one of the participant was asking about the scripting which we are going to see, so as I have already informed, JMeter supports different type of scripting languages, and as part of this training we are going to see Groovy scripting. So we'll see what is Groovy, the introduction to Groovy, and the JSR 223 element of JMeter. So what is JSR 223? Why it is called as JSR 223? We are going to see that in details. Then how to write a comment in Groovy, how to print in Groovy, what are the variables in Groovy? Okay, that we are going to see. What are the different operators in Groovy? What are the different variables in Groovy? So this variable and this variable is different, guys. Okay, so here we are creating variables or we are passing variables, but here that will be the default inbuilt variables in Groovy. So what is the difference between them, right? You all will get confused that in point 51 we already have variables, and again in point 53 we are mentioning variables. So this variable and this variable is different, guys. Okay, so that we are going to see. Then the real life examples, the problem statements to achieve in JMeter, and how you will be able to implement that with Groovy. How will you be able to implement the real life examples in Groovy? Then comes the Dynatrace integration. So Dynatrace is an application performance monitoring tool. We'll have Dynatrace to monitor our application. So we'll see the introduction to Dynatrace. What is Dynatrace? Then how to integrate JMeter with Dynatrace. So in introduction to Dynatrace, we are going to see the different modules in Dynatrace, how to use Dynatrace, okay? So that you can do the monitoring with Dynatrace. Okay, and then how to integrate JMeter with Dynatrace. Okay, so that you can filter out whatever requests are getting triggered or whatever requests are getting generated in JMeter. Once there is the application, how will you identify uniquely that these requests are coming from JMeter or any other user is using the application, and as a result of that we are getting those requests. Then how will you do the application monitoring with Dynatrace during JMeter execution? So this is the entire list of topics which we are going to cover as part of this training, known as JMeter Beginner to Master with Groovy Scripting and Dynatrace integration. Any queries, anyone?
Chandra,
I
one
have a
doubt.
question.
Yeah, we'll go one by one. Yeah, ma'am, please.
Yeah, in the last point, as you mentioned, application monitoring with Dynatrace, right? So, can we like now we will monitor the application? So, can we um, convert that data, whatever we are monitoring, into a report form?
Yes,
Something. Okay.
means whatever data you will be monitoring, how to put that into a report. That is what you are
Yeah.
asking.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
that will be that is what I'll show you, right?
Okay. 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 Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah. So
Yes,
adding to that, like I have a question regarding will you able to find out the bottlenecks and other stuff to through Dynatrace, or how it will be like?
yes, yes. So when I say application performance monitoring, we are going to see if there are any issues during the test execution. How are we going to identify the issues in Dynatrace?
Okay. And
Yeah.
and I have one more quick question. So JMeter only supports Groovy scripting, or even a JavaScript will it
No,
support JavaScript as well?
it supports JavaScript, it supports Groovy, it supports Winshell, it supports Java.
Okay. But yeah,
So,
current trend is with Groovy. Yeah, I agree.
yeah, current trend is with Groovy, However, it is your choice. See, if you already are a master of Java or you are a master of Winshell, you can use that also. But the performance wise, Groovy is the recommended scripting language. Means if we compare Winshell and Groovy, Groovy has better performance than Winshell, but you are free to use any scripting language. The objective is that you need to meet your end goal, and you can meet that end
Okay.
goal with any of the scripting languages.
But
But as
here I
part of
see
this
only
training
like
plan, we are exclusively focusing on Groovy.
yeah, but I see here only three to four concepts on Groovy. Do you think that should be sufficient for us for
Yes,
scripting?
that should be sufficient for us.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Hi, Chandra.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what about work support for us?
Sorry, can you please
Hello.
elaborate that?
Yeah, work support. We got the job. Means after that, we have some work support required, right?
So once the training is over, whenever if you have any queries, you can always reach out to me and I'll be helping you with your queries to resolve them. Any issues you
Yeah.
face, any queries you have, I'm going to resolve that.
Yeah, which location you are, Chandra?
I'm in India.
I am also in India. Which location, particular in India? Hyderabad, Bangalore, like that.
Sorry, that I cannot disclose for now.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. No issue.
Yeah. Hi, Chandra.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
hi,
please tell
Chandra.
me.
So, yeah, yeah. What all the prerequisites to join this course? Actually, I'm completely new to performance testing, and currently I'm working in different domain, and I wanted to switch my domain. So, this course will be helpful for me, or like any prerequisites, any coding knowledge, or anything
It
else
will
required?
be, it will be definitely helpful to you. Okay.
Yeah,
And in the beginning, I'm going to cover the introduction to performance testing. You will be able to understand what is the concept of performance testing, why we are doing that, what will be our approach for that. We are going to see that. Okay. And
okay,
then we are going to take baby steps in which you will be able to learn JMeter also completely. Okay. So, and
yeah,
performance testing is a, you know, niche skill. So you will have good demand in the market. So performance testing is always recommended, to as a hot job. And yes, it is
yeah.
definitely going to be helpful for you to answer your question.
So yeah, my another doubt is like since I have not done any project on this, so how it will help me to switch domain, like since I don't have prior project experience, so the projects which we are
Yes.
going to cover in this training.
Whenever we deliver the first project, let's say on any new domain, so prior to that we do not have
Yes,
any
yes,
experience, right?
yes,
So there is always a first time. So, but
yeah,
when you do this course, it will give you that extra confidence, and you will be able to
mm-hmm.
understand how to deliver it in your project.
Yes, yes,
And there are examples where people have taken the course with us, and they are able to deliver the performance testing projects.
yeah. Okay, sir. Chandra, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Chandra, this is Sukanya.
Yeah, hi.
So my question is about for a Dynatrace, you'll be taking for integration like with the HTTP headers and linking with how with the JMeter linking with Dynatrace. That part only, or how overall the application server, web server installation parts are that and all we will cover, and how we are going to monitor.
Dynatrace installation will not be covered. However,
Okay,
Dynatrace instance will be there, which will already be installed, and you will be
okay,
able to monitor the application also with Dynatrace. So
okay. From
the
okay.
the application will be hosted on our infrastructure. Dynatrace will be installed on our infrastructure. You will be able to monitor the application which is installed on our infrastructure.
Okay, okay.
And yes, in
Okay.
addition to that, I think you already know the integration. Maybe that is why you mentioned about the headers and all. But yes, that whole topic is also
Yes,
going to be
yes.
covered.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. From performance testing point of view, I need to know about how to find the bottlenecks, and we need to monitor the applications. From that point of view, I'm asking. Yeah.
Yes, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can call me Chandra.
Okay. Basically, I'm in UK. So, how will be the if I want to join? So, how will be the class timings? Like, is it gonna be a Zoom meeting for everyone, or I can contact you separately if when I have a free time? So, how will be the timings for the classes?
The class timings are going to be from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST hours, and it will be a common class for everyone. And in case you miss any class, the videos will always be there for you. So the videos are going to be recorded, and the recorded videos will be there for you to refer it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Chandra, one more doubt.
Yeah.
After this course, like, will there be like job reference or assistance will be provided, or it is not the part of this course?
At the end of the course, you will be provided with a certificate
Mm-hmm.
that you have undergone the training, and
Okay.
your queries regarding the issues whatever you have related to interviews, or you can reach out to me for your different queries. That support will be there. But for the job assistance, means we will inform like whenever there are any performance testing jobs and all. But yes, but
Okay.
uh, the kind of assistance I'm means maybe you can take it offline. Yeah, you
Okay.
can reach out
Okay.
on our group. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Any other queries, anyone? Actually, I was also thinking to start the performance testing introduction today, but we are running out of time today. So, any other queries, anyone?
Chandra, what is the duration of this course? Like, how
Yes,
much time
we'll
it will
cover
take to
the
complete?
course in 50 to 55 hours. So, because we are going to cover them everything in details. So, we are going to cover them in 50 to 55 hours.
Like 2 months.
2.5 months, 2.5 months to 3 months. The entire course, though.
Hello.
Yeah,
So like it will complete in 2 hours, right? 2 months.
yeah, 2.5 months probably.
Okay. Okay.
Chandra, so when it is going to start, like actual class?
So we have actually started from today. So today is our demo session. From tomorrow we have the session day one.
Okay. And any other batch timings, like, or just this evening batch alone?
If you could ping your query in the group, maybe you will be able to assist.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other queries, anyone?
Like during the course, like, will there be some kind of assessments, or like any assignments, homework kind of thing?
Uh, I would love to do that, but everyone comes with experience. Means all most of you would be already in a job and all. So some people like it when assignments are given. Some people don't like it when assignments are given. However, I'll always push you all to do the hands-on, to do the script development, to implement the enhancements. So it is up to you. So the more serious you are, the more productive the sessions will be. But if you all are interested, we can have assignments also. It is up to you guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have one more question. Not question, just request. Shall we do maximum of this project in the Google, like Google application only, which is accessible from Google? Because it's sometimes possible that we are we do the all these things from our office laptop, so it is not possible for us to
Yes, yes, most of the applications will be accessible on the internet. Don't worry on that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So any other queries, anyone? I'm glad that you all are asking a lot of questions, so that makes the sessions interactive, and going forward also, I'm looking forward to have more and more interactive sessions with you all. So if there are no queries, are there any queries?
Ch- Chandra, so how many projects we are going to cover in this as a part of this training?
In the web application, we are going to cover 2 to 3 web applications. In the web services, we will, because with web services, we are going to cover all the different major request types. So with that, you will be able to do the test script development for any web services.
Okay, Chandra. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chandra, one more doubt. Like as part of this course, you will be covering web HTTP protocol and web service protocol, right?
Yes.
So with this knowledge, can we adapt ourselves for other
To other protocols.
protocols?
Yes,
Uh,
definitely, definitely. And most of the applications which you will find in your projects will be on web HTTP, HTML, and your web services.
yeah, yeah,
Majority of
like
the
a true
applications.
client, yeah, true
But
client.
yes, once you know that, you will be able to,
Okay,
adapt to other protocols as well.
okay, okay. That assistance would be there, right? From you,
Yes, yes, yes,
offline,
yes.
of course, offline.
Sure, sure,
Okay,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you.
So thank you all for joining. We'll stop the session here today and we'll continue from tomorrow. Thank you all.